And even though you guys don't know, but it's truly my honor to share with you guys a story of of mine, and about me, and let everybody know about myself and how I was able to start this business. And I just really want to tell you one thing is that it doesn't matter how you started. You can have a tons of questions, in your mind. Is this worth it? Am I able going to be am I able to make it? How much money I have to put out? How do I know if this is real? I'm going to be here, and I want to make sure is that I'm going to be an open book to let you know that everything it's actually worth it. I've been in the business for 6 years, and the only thing I can tell you is absolutely worth it. I started this business around October. Let me see. Let me start to share very first. Okay, very beginning present. Yeah, earlier the slides was not working out so well. I appreciate you guys being understanding and then back me up. But this was me. If you looked at me and you looked at me right now looking so sharp and looking so cool, everything is so trendy and so fashionable, and being like the how say it, I be able to know how to become a spotlight. Let me just put I want to see you guys too during the time that I share my screen. Can you still see my screen? Let me know.
Yes.
Sneak peek is when I was going through the memory, when I looked at the gallery, for some reason I felt really emotional, and I'm the type that I barely get emotional, and when I looked through all of this, and I was talking to myself like, wow, was it really me? That person was so normal and be able to get where I'm at today. And I want you guys to know is if you guys start somewhere humble, beginning like me, you can also do it too. So this is me. So you see the date, right? The left one was 2007. This is how I dressed back then. Of course, it's not how I want to style myself, but I came from a family where it's a business, fashion industry. So my mom really cared about fashion and being trendy. So she the one that styled me. Back then I already got bucket hats and wearing the t-shirt and trendy pants, everything like that already. My family, we were not like a bad condition, but I grew up in a traditional business family where everything else outside looked very flashy, it looks very nice, but deep down inside we didn't have a lot of time, nor a lot of money. I still remember this time we were still not so good. We're not doing so well. The business is start taking off, and I still remember every single day after kindergarten at 4 p.m. I would have to go to the kiosk with the mom and dad and staying under the kiosk, no insulation, no nothing, and you can literally see the sunshine go straight to your face, and that's how crazy it was. And I had to witness my family, waking up in the morning since 6 a.m., driving me to the kindergarten. I started to go to school since I was really early age, which is 1 year and a half. A lot of people went to school when they're like 3 years old, right? I went to school when I was only 1 year old and a half because my parents, they couldn't afford being around me, being there with me. And my grandparents, they also busy making money at that time too. So nobody really around to really take care of me. So I had to go to school at a very early age, and I didn't really know so much of the motherly love or dad love or anything, but I was actually, daddy's girl. So everything, if mom was really strict, then dad would be the one that helped me. So I still remember when I was 6 years old, and my mom is like military parenting style, whatever you could name it. Then That's her, you know. I used to, a lot of people like, yeah, I'm Chinese and you don't understand how my parents are. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you straight up, you don't know my parents, and my parents is Vietnamese. My mom, you know, I still remember my childhood. I was really rebellious. So my whole childhood stuck with you know, being rebellious, talking back to my mom and sneaking out of the house during the PM time just to hang with my neighborhood kid, like the one that my friend. And then I'm gonna be, you know, picked back and go straight back home, and my mom gonna look at me like, I tell you this and that. And I was a girl that stay under people's order or command or expectation for my whole life, a lot. And my mom, you know, back then hit me a lot. So because I was born and raised in Vietnam, so you can say that getting hit by my mom is very often, to the point that I got bruises and I'm okay with it, and I got numb to it and I got used to it. And I was very a bad kid to the point that the last session of spanking by my mom was actually 3 days before I left Vietnam to America, just because I didn't listen to her, you know. And fun fact, the picture on the right side is actually the one and only happy family picture that I got with my family. It's been 11 years. And I want to tell you is that a lot of you might have good condition in terms of money, but sometimes I really want for myself is time, you know. I witnessed my parents. They were going out to Malaysia, going out to vendors, and going to Macau, and go to China, going to Shanghai for business trips, but they never be able to take me to Shanghai or Hong Kong for family trip. And this trip I would never forget, because it was in Vinpearl when the first couple of years it was open in Nha Trang, you know, and I remember forever. And this trip I was only 13 years old. And they're my motivation, because the reason that I do this business is I hated business, but I also like business, because business in a traditional way would never bring me a freedom. But this business where I see Phil, I see Sagit and Natalie, they're around, they're even younger than my parents, maybe, or around same age, but they've been retired for more than 21 years. And up to this point, my parents, they're still working a job, the business that during COVID-19, they're struggling real hard. And there's a point that my mom even asked me, you know, oh, if I could be able to lend her some money. And that made me feel really bad. Is that what's the point of running a business and your capital? Sometimes it's just so bad. And back to the point that in Vietnam, the way that they run the business is very funny. They don't sign contract or make payment. They make payment or contract by verbally, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the money. And because of that, my mom and my dad, they lost a lot of money just by believing in people. That's why I'm the person that don't trust people so much. And they told me that too, you know. Yeah. And then this is the picture. I'm gonna tell you, this is all the cost of me being here, sitting here today. This is me 8 years ago, July 15, 2013. I came to Hawaii, you know, paradise on earth, but hell inside my heart. Is because, you know, the first day I got to Hawaii is also the first day I had to go to work. And that time I was too young to know how life was. And it was really hard. People told me, my parents and, you know, my aunt, my uncle, they told me is that, oh, if you go to America, it's not easy as you think. You have to make your own money, because your parents gonna be at home taking care of your younger brother. And I was okay with it until I came here, and life, you know, it's turned upside down. You know, at the 16-year-old person, I arrived in the morning at 10 a.m. We went to church and got back home around 12 and 3:30. I already went out to work the second shift. And you know how many hours I worked? I worked until 11. And I just flew for two trips straight from Vietnam to America, and I went straight to work. It felt very empty and lonely inside. I asked myself a question. Is this really the America that I dreamt of and I wish to have? Maybe a lot of Native Americans, you know, you're Canadian born or American born, you guys don't know how it feels, but only the international students or your parents, you know, the generation where they immigrated here, they will know the pain is. I devoted so much, I sacrificed so much, and I came here working a regular job, working, you know, since morning until nighttime, and they couldn't even have one day to enjoy life. Did you know how my life was? I worked just to afford $22,000 in tuition for myself, and my pay was $8 per hour by my auntie. And the people around me, they treat me not even like, you know, owner's kid, but they treat me nothing different, you know, than a homeless outside. They treat me so bad, and they're same blood with me, which is Vietnamese community. But that made me question myself. Is this how Vietnamese are in America? You know, Asian community, they don't protect each other, but they hurt each other like this. And I was in Hawaii for 2 years, and I literally lived 2 years, lived one day for 700 days. I knew all of the chain of the islands in Hawaii, but I never stepped outside of Honolulu. And I'm telling you this story, not just to show about myself, but if you kept going to work, accepting your fate, oh, you're just gonna go work a job, do whatever it is. You know, I'll do whatever it is, you know, I'll go with the flow. I'm telling you one thing, life ain't getting easier. And you're gonna be like me. Sooner or later, you're gonna work your butt off for the living. And if you don't do anything different, you're not gonna get out of this rat race, and you're gonna get depressed, and you're gonna get lonely, extremely lonely. Can you imagine? I was in Hawaii for 2 years and no friend, because the whole time I was just busy to go to work. And I went out to eat in a restaurant by myself. Every time it felt so empty inside, and I want to cry to myself, is that, why do I have to deal with this? You know? And that's something that I really change is, I think maybe Hawaii is not somewhere that I want to stay anymore. And I moved to California in the end of July. And, you know, I think I was asking for a lot of, asking a lot from God, because I'm Catholic. So I was praying to God like every day is, you know, God, can you bring me something? Because I don't like to live in America anymore. And I really like America because their bad life doesn't have to be mine. But then I need a way out. I need someone that can bring me the light so that my life could be better. And I think it's the end of September. That was when I met Bao. You know, it's really funny. So you heard his side, right? Which is, Lily, so aggressive, asking a lot of questions. But from my side, I was very innocent. One thing I can tell you straight up is I was looking for opportunity. And one thing that I appreciate my uncle for telling me was, you have to go outside to look for opportunity. You will never get, any chance to change your life if you keep staying inside your home, inside your classroom, and inside your comfort zone. And you have to go out and socialize, make connection. And this picture, I didn't know, just because of me being innocent, led me to the whole new chapter of my life. So this is how it turned out, okay? So Bao, yeah, took whatever people go into networking and they talked to these two. My story was I was walking onto the, walking up to the library, about head to the second floor to do my study. And then I saw these two guys. You see right here, these two guys, they are my friends, my classmates. One is in English class with me. One is in psychology class with me. This dude, the one that thought so potential of him, and he come to me and he told me about Bao. Oh, this dude doing network marketing. Don't do with him. Do multi-level marketing. Scam, and oh, I bet he's doing Amway. Why the hell you have to do Amway when you can create your own business? He told me that. I never told Bao about this. And you know what I told him? If you so good, why don't you create it right now? And he shut up. And then the one next to him, this guy right here, went to the same psychology class with me. And he told me, he asked me, so we both launched, right? And he asked me, oh, how do you feel about this business? And da 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 da. Back then there was no process. You know what he talked about Bao behind his back? Oh, I think this business is so weird, Bao so shady, so on, so on, so on. And he asked me how you felt, because he wants some allies. He wants some, comfort on the same side with him. I told him, because that time I was not serious. I told him, to be honest, I was still not sure about this business, but well, it gave me an opportunity to change. Why not? And he's like, oh, be careful, or else you're going to lose a lot of money. And guess what they're at now? I don't freaking know. They're no longer here. And this picture, when I met him, I got out of class. And, that time my ex-boyfriend was driving me. I think it was a Thursday, and I didn't mean to give him attitude or anything, because I was just thinking, okay, I needed to go. So I kindly asked him, oh, is there any way that, we can do it in 15 minutes? I just have only 15 minutes or else I have to go. And the reason why I was willing to stay back, okay, from the outside, is Bao willing to keep up with his standard. For me, I was thinking to myself, okay, it's another hour. Yeah, the traffic to LA is gonna be bad, but I'm willing to go through that grinding and get into the argument with my ex later, rather than miss. I don't want to miss an opportunity. Who knows if this can bring me a whole big chunk of money? And that's inside my head. And I was thinking to myself, okay, this dude trying to, play hard again. And when he, sat down, talked to me, I was a very skeptical person. And he was like, oh, how's it going? How you like it here? And how you like school? And I was like, and I still remember how I reacted back to him. I was like, yeah, everything's good, but what's up? And then he started to go straight to the point, and I listened to it. Literally from that moment, I didn't remember anything but Forever 21, McDonald's, making money, and that's it. It was no process. So the only thing I remember is how to make money, and that's it. And it's very funny is when I was staying in my room, and so random, I received a call from Tan, but I didn't know it was Tan. I didn't know it was Tan. It was a weird number, but I just picked it up because I thought maybe someone called me because I applied for a job. And then this guy, was like, hello, Lynn. Back then they call my real name, and oh, this is Tan. I'm like, Tan who? I'm like, oh yeah, Bao introduced me to you, and he spoke highly of me. I'm like, what the heck? This is so weird. But I was like, okay, and then Tan booked a follow-up with me before the meeting, and I showed up. One thing about me is that I was really ambitious. So I showed up 10 minutes before the meeting. So they asked if I could come at 7. And I still remember, I came in front of the office around 6:45, and I was like, who is Tan? I don't even know his face. Is it so weird? You don't know that person's face and you still walked into the office. Sometimes I'm like, now I'm thinking back to myself, like, I don't even understand myself, And I walked in and I saw a guy sitting there eating chicken beef with pasta, nuôi xào bò. And I asked, oh, I'm looking for Tan. I have an appointment with Tan, you know. And the box is full, so probably he didn't eat. And the reason why I respect this man so much is he's like, oh, okay, you came early. So one thing for the candidate or for the people is never come on time, come early. Show your case that you're worth it. If you respect people time, they're gonna respect you. You know, I didn't have a picture with Tan to put it up here. No picture, no nothing. And you know, Tan explained to me about three-way making money is something about a pen. And I still remember vividly that it was a yellow notepad with line on it. Yeah, I have a very good memory. That time he still had a red Windows Surface. Probably is not used anymore until now. But I listened to Tan and I was really intrigued with the number. And I went to, so during the time, you know, Tan is very funny. So let me hold the pen. So Tan was asking me, how much you think this pen is? And out of nowhere, me said, oh man, walk into, you know, to that time still physical meeting. And she was registering her name, you know, signed in, checked in to go to meeting. And I was thinking to myself, and Misa said this, oh, that pen is very expensive. I'm like, okay, what does it have to do with making a lot of money? So everything around me is just really random, but that's how I remember about all my uplines. Yeah, if you're in here and you listen about this, it's actually something that I never shared before about you, but I really appreciate every one of you. And Misa actually helped me to kind of cut off all of the excuses about going to school full time and this and that, because I told Tan this. Tan, I go to school, college right now, study minimum is 15 units per semester. I'm not sure if I could be able to do this. And Tan's like, oh, don't worry. I have a girl named Misa. She studying full time, working a part time job, and build this business. And she 4.0 GPA. And then Bảo can take you there. But Bảo can take you there. And the moment when Bảo take me there, and I was like, oh, this is the girl again. And I was just talking, but I was really amazed by the way she talked about, you know, being able to challenge. And I still remember she told me that if you really think yourself a winner, I challenge you to stay in this business, work this business hard, and never quit. And every time that I'm down, I still remember this line. And after the PACE meeting, you know, back then there's no process. That's really funny. And I went home. I was so tired already. It's a 3 hours meeting. Who would take a first-time candidate to cover this? I don't get anything. I don't understand, man. I'm just like, I would take people to cover this. And I don't understand a single word. What the heck is 9-4 step? What the heck is 4 basic? What the heck is, you know, 6 cardinal rules? And that back then they say 6C, but then people with Vietnamese accents like 6C. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. And I was so proud of myself for staying until this point. And when I went home, Misa talked to me on the phone another hour. And I didn't know why I stayed until now. But I saw the potential. So it's just something back then that I had the very first memory with them. And I really encourage every one of you guys, you should jot down every memory that you have with your upline. Is because if you don't have it, then there's no way you're going to be able to write your story. And your story is going to be the best way to, you know, spread the hope for people. Yeah. So that's how it was, right? And then let me show you the next thing. So when I did this business, it's in Vietnamese, but I will translate it out. I know a lot of you guys have objection from the family, parental restriction. I was in exactly the same shoe. My mom, you know, this is 2016 and 2017. If you read it, you will see how crazy my parent was to me. And I never shared this with my parents. So literally my mom said, you make me feel so ashamed just because whatever you've been doing to me and the family, because you do pyramid scheme, you know, and if later on you want to regret, it's way too late. And she literally says that If you keep going to this business and you let people scam you and you don't go to school, you let the pyramid scheme people do this and it's illegal, I will report to the police and they will take you, go back to Vietnam. And that's my mom. That's my mom, the person that I love a lot. And how would you feel if you're in this situation? And I was in the crossword, you know, and mom asked me, are you human? Are you animal? Why you don't love your family, but you love the people outside? You don't have a heart. And you only care about us when we give you money. If you don't call us back by today or tomorrow, you're no longer my daughter. And a lot of you guys go through, oh, my parents is not letting me do this business. A lot of like, oh, if this is my house, this is my rule, and this and that. I'm telling you one thing, this is the very first objection you're gonna go through. And if you cannot even go through this, how the heck you're gonna be a business owner? This is the first objection you're gonna have. Is your family gonna be the one that tests your dream? They're gonna test it out. And that was 5 years ago. They told me, they disowned me. They told me this. This is the scolding. This is the insult that I could never imagine. I take it from my mom and my dad. I cannot take the whole thing. Man, I gotta censor this, man. If I give you the whole paragraph, you read about this, your self-image will go so low. Go so low. You know, they literally call me names, and that's my parents. And just because I went out for the trip, for a function, they told me I'm not a human. I'm not their daughter. I'm not a good kid. And here it is, joining on Zoom, and you say, oh, my parents don't allow me to do this and do that. Then how can you be successful? Don't you ever think about paying the price? The first hater you're gonna have to encounter is your family and your friends. And if you cannot handle this, how can you handle the most haters out there in the world? They are my best, you know, haters, and they're my best motivators. And some of you gonna quit on your dream just because your parents say no to you going out into this business opportunity. You know what my parents told me? If you didn't listen to this, I would buy you a brand new car of Honda Accord. That time it was 2015, 17. So that car, by that time, it was $23,000. And they were willing to do that. And they told me, you could have had your own condo. You could have had your own car. The most, decent car. But just because you don't listen to me, you have none, you have jack, you have nothing, not even a penny. They told me, if you don't listen to me, your tuition will be on you. And you know how much it was? $20,000 a year. And you tell me that you want to build the business so bad, you love yourself, you love your future so bad, and you cannot go through this? You must be a coward. You must be a coward that you don't stay with your own word and your parents, and you let them to steal away your dreams. Shame on you. I'm not a person too strong to the point I can do this, but the people back me up was Bao, Tan, Sophie, and Phil. I have people back me up, and I have to believe. I have the coaching by my side. How can you not believe in them? If you don't believe in them, then how can you do anything in this business? You should go home and talk to yourself and, hit yourself with a pillow, man. You don't deserve to be an adult if you don't even dare to stand up, against your parents. You're 18 years old. What can they do? How long can they pay your bills? Until they die? What if they pass away when you're 40s? And now you take care of your own self when you're 40s. You learn to pick up the penny, when you're 40. Isn't it better to face life when you're 18 and being 40? I feel so bad for you if right now you're still being pampered by your parents. I feel so bad. Literally, I feel pathetic for you because I had to go through this when I was 19, 18 years old. And if you never have struggles in your life, wish for it, dream for it. Because if you don't have this, there's no way you're gonna have the success. If you talk to Tan, you talk to Sophia, you talk to, Risa, they got exactly the same thing. Kenny, Mimi, exactly the same thing. How could they go through it, but not me? If they're just normal human being and they could go through it. And I say, oh, you don't understand me. My family is different. No, you're different. You're different in the low grade that you cannot do anything with this. And you don't even have your own dream and you don't dare to stand up with it. But you know what? After 5 years, you know what my mom talked to me now? It's different. Oh, how's your business going? I told her, last month I made 1,700. And now I'm the one who talked to her about finance. She listened to me like a friend, man. I have my old game plan. That I told her, Mom, chill out. I'm going to get the money. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to make sure none of the people put you down will never put you down again. It might be one time, but not forever. My whole family, you know what my reputation was back then? Top 5 kid of the school. You know what my reputation now? Pyramid scheme. Do I care? No. If they pay for my money, if they pay for my parents living right now, then yeah. If not, don't worry about it. Not even a single penny. Why should I care? They even talk down about my parents just because of me. Do you think my parents deserve this? No, but I have to be the bad kid for a short-term period of time. So then later on, I can buy them back. I never want them to go through the life where they have to keep going out and talking to people, negotiating, signing contract, never again, and let people yell at her. There's one time I saw my mom talking on the phone with a client and they yell at my mom. And I told my mom, Mom, what's going on? Mom said, it's okay. I'm like, no, if I was there, I would protect you until the day that I die. And Mom's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, never again. That's moment on. I will never let anything happen to my mom and my dad ever again. I don't care. Even though you don't love your parents, it's your truly responsibility to pay them back. They've been doing so much for you. And even going through these small little problems, don't even talk about being able to take a bullet for them. You tell us, I'm willing to go through the fire and take a bullet for my parents, for my family, because I love them. I want to give them the best life. Hello. They're testing you right now. And if you give up on yourself, they already successful in terms of making you a loser. You have to be aware of it. You have to be aware that even sometimes your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, your girlfriend is the one that steals your dream. Hard but true. Back then, my ex-boyfriend was the one that stole my dream. You know how he treated me? He treated me like a princess, man. Every occasion I had gifts everywhere I go, he took me like exactly Uber driver with no fee. Every day I make sure I have food and drink on the table to eat. Don't worry about anything. Yeah, they buy me brand name, and even my ex-boyfriend parents took care of me, bought me gifts too. Every week I went shopping with them. But what's the point of having that? And I realized, back then, Bao told me, oh, hey, sometimes you have to admit one thing is your ex actually the distraction. But I didn't listen. I was like, no, I don't agree with you, Bao. But then at the end, I realized we couldn't be on the same path because I've been hanging out with these people. I hang around with these people too much to the point that I couldn't be with the regular person. My ex back then worked in medical field. We were talking to each other about building a family. It's really funny that, we're all planning to be six-figure income maker, and we're gonna make a happy family. But imagine, one is a doctor, one is an engineer. Where's the time for us to be together? We're gonna be sun and moon. Don't even talking about having a happy family. Just try to talk about avoiding, arguments. And back then I was so hooked up into the title. Oh, I'm dating with the soon-to-be doctor. What sounds so good about it? Soon-to-be doctor, not a doctor. And doctor doesn't mean any crap. Doctor doesn't mean that you're gonna be having a good lifestyle. I see so many doctors in my family that to the point that they couldn't be there for their own kids. What about being doctor? I salute doctor. I salute people in medical field. But if you have to make me choose between my family and people outside, I have to choose my family first. I'm sorry. I saw my cousin quitting being a nurse because she couldn't take care of their kids. And I salute her for that. And if you're thinking about, oh, I want to impact people's life, have you ever thought of saving and helping your family first before the strangers? You must be make no sense if you really want to help people, save the world, superhero wearing no cap and new cape and I want to save the world. Do you save your family? Are they still in average condition? Think about that. And because of this is the place where I lived. 2017. It was not even a garage. It was this bad. I had to give up everything from the top, go straight down to the bottom. That was not even a place. That was a trash. I don't know what to call it. And we have to clean every single thing out. We took trash out of this room. I smell, and until this moment, I still get haunted because of the smell that we bring out and all types of bugs in there. This room is not even 70, or it's less than 100 square feet. That's the place that I stay. And you know what I even have to do? I sold my stuff. I sold my clothes. I sold my book. I sold everything just to make money so that I can make a living. And the people stay with me this time was me, Satan, Sophie, and Phil only. My parent was not around. And I have to make it from a very ghetto place into a place where I can run a business. When what's the saying, you remember? When the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? I can never believe when I look back, this is where I lived. You look at me right now, like right now, everything's so great, everything's so fancy. You don't see this. Even the wall, a ceiling, everything, I had to paint it myself, and I have bound everything. If there's rain, it goes straight down to the floor and it wet my book. And there's sometimes, I call Bao and say, Bao, the rain wet my book. I don't have book to read. And no food. Definitely no food. Definitely no food. And I have to make my own BAB as a very small place that I never called home. But I have to get used to it just because I have the belief in me that one day the prize will pay off. I have to make everything. And I have to remind myself daily habits. You think I don't do it? This when I didn't have cardboard or anything. The thing right here, it looks so nice. I use whiteout and cardboard box. The cardboard box from Amway. Do it. Everything was saved up, even though my parents, they turned it back on me. But it's my responsibility not to turn my back on them because they don't understand. And looking at these lines right here, they made my day. Every day I go home after work, I had to work 2 jobs after that. No car. That time, I only bike and bus. And what was so crazy was I went to a bakery. I worked at a bakery, waking up at 4:30 a.m. just to bike 40 minutes when it's only 10-minute drive to go to a bakery. and I had asthma. And there's a time when it's too hot. I almost fell and faint on the street. But because I had an interview, I couldn't afford myself to fall down. And I got there 5 minutes late. And lucky, the boss allowed me to take the interview still. And those moments I can never forget, you know. And after this is the function where it brings a lot of memory to me, because my mom came to town again just to take me away from this opportunity. When you see me happy, smiling here, actually I left my mom sleeping here, no heater, at this place by herself. The house, nobody. She doesn't have anyone around. Once again, just because of my dream, I left my mother 2 times like that. And she stood in front of me when I was, going to the car already. She chased after me and she cried in front of me. She said, "What in this business that made you go so crazy because of it, that you're willing to leave your own mom in a place like this?" I couldn't say anything. I didn't make any money. I told my mom, "I can't explain to you, but I know this is something worth fighting for. I don't want to be a bad kid, but I just have to go." And I left my mom standing on the street at 2 a.m. I jumped on a car and left. And the whole ride, I couldn't sleep. I cried to myself because I was such a bad kid, And then they took me to Atlanta, Georgia. Using all kind of saying to persuade me that I could be here. And I had to be far away from my team, and now I have to be on my own. Literally, there's no one that infused team that really strong. There was a cross line there, but me by myself, everything. I had to stay up until like 3 a.m. my side to talk to them every day, because there's no way I couldn't live without my friend, my association. So sometimes I'm really sad, and just because of them, they made my day. In here, there's Phương, Bảo, me, and Khan. The team was really small this time, and I didn't have any upline around, so I have to look for an association for me to lock myself in. So if you're far away from your upline, your long distance, please fight for your own dream. You have to take the ownership, and even if your local team, don't take advantage and don't take your upline for granted. You've been taking your upline for granted so much. And if you've been doing that, and even the cross line, I go and ask every single cross line just to be around them. And they're different upline diamond. And they're different culture. They're all Indians. You see, there's white dude right here, but you see Indians. I have to eat Indian food. I have to adopt to the culture. And I have to see them as adopted upline, because I don't have any upline around. You know what happened to me in Atlanta, Georgia? This FVD is one of the most painful FVD, because I bought the ticket already. This is the year that Nick and Stephanie went diamond. I bought the ticket already. You know what happened? I went to the store, and my aunt took away my passport and my ID. I couldn't go. I was so close to sneak out, and she stayed up until 3 a.m. just to take my passport. Emma, ask you one question. If things come like that, you already bought everything, 5 a.m. Are you willing to let go $500? Are you going to sit there and like, oh my God, I lost 500. Do you know what I care more? I lost the opportunity to be here. You don't see my face. I couldn't learn a lesson. I couldn't witness the people who are like youngest diamond here. I don't care about the money. Stop caring so much about the money. It's not that big. Money can be earned back, but not the knowledge, not the opportunity, not the time, not the friendship. I lost all of this. I lost the memory to be with them. Young people, sometimes you got to change yourself. You stop being comfortable. You know, and I have to really ask myself, why God, why you have to make my life so hard? People's life is just so, you know, pink and rosy, and my life is full of chaotics and struggles and tragedy and just like that. I just want to tell you this, so then you will stop justifying and blaming for the situation and start to take action. Not to share with you, oh, how crazy I am, or how strong I am. No, I was just a regular person. But I believe, I have the faith, I have the something in me that I know this is the one, and I will be willing to pay whatever it takes just to be here. I will not quit. I can go platinum slowly, but I will never, quit this business and will never be a platinum, because I've seen enough. So many people be there, Bảo and Tan Sophia be there with me at 2-3 a.m. And here it is. Some of you guys, after the process, you don't trust the coaching, you don't trust the coach, and you say, oh, but this, but that, oh, this and that. You gotta stop blaming the situation, blame yourself and move on. Please blame yourself and move on, and stop being so easy on you, because you're the only limit that stop yourself from succeeding. And if you don't get yourself to hang around Crossline, around the association, and if you're long distance, you're gone. Because if you're in Toronto, stay on tight. Vancouver, stay on tight. Crossline are still family. Just know where to go counsel. Don't counsel with Crossline, that's okay. But be friend with them. Be impacted by them. And don't be hesitant to ask questions. What does it hurt to ask a question and learn for yourself, And here it is in Atlanta. I have to find, the way to get products. I couldn't ship at home. The moment I ship at home, I'm done for. So I have to go and look for it and where I found this. And so I can go and ship the product to my customer and to myself, so that I never get caught. And because nobody really there for me, I have to stand up and find these on my own, to find the platform, to find the association to hang around with, or else I'm dead. If I don't hang around dreamers, I don't have the access to the platform, I'm finished. Did anyone tell me about this? Bảo, Tan Sophia, Phil, they're not here. Misa, they're not here to tell me, oh, Lily, there's going to be a warehouse here. Go look for it. They know Jack. I have to find it myself. You have to find it yourself. You have to find a way for you to make money, for you to make a living. When you're in the situation that you need to create your survival mode, then you can. Any of us here, you actually a lion, but you've been putting into a zoo for too long that you forget you're a wild lion. You can go into a jungle and you can get food. You can survive on your own. You have to be like that. There's no way you're gonna sitting at one spot and people gonna feed you, and they're gonna feed until the day you die, and you make no good to the world and even to yourself, And Bảo came. There was the end of 2017. I was the only person there, and we got snowstorm to the winter conference. That winter conference was in Louisville, Kentucky. The estimated of arrival is 7-hour drive, but with my car is 2003 Toyota Camry, beat up car, and there's no way I get the 7 hours. So we were thinking, okay, maybe we drive 3 hours and stop, 2 hours and stop. But no, life ain't letting me go through that easy. There's no storm. With my beat up car, and it needs to be fixed so much, and we go under what's it called? Snowstorm and what's mưa đá, man? Like hail, yeah. For some reason I forgot. Under hail with the beat up car like this. And then after that, where's the I forgot the picture where we eat the McDonald's food. We're so broke. Myself was so broke. The only thing we ate that time was $1 McDonald's meal. The whole trip is McDonald's meal, $1 McDonald's, $1 McDonald's, up to the moment I got to SoCal. And after this, my parents found out, and my uncle found out, and everyone found out about being here. So I sneaked back to my con, sleeping there, and it's so cold. And I give him all blanket. I sleep with no blanket in my room because I still had a little bit of heater, so it's a bit better. And then after this, Bao told me, you cannot live like this. You cannot live like this. You have to move. If you keep staying here, how can you have the peace of mind to build the business and for you to move on? Sometimes, and I was like, no, I want to stay here. I want to be the pioneer of Atlanta. But I was so, ignorant. I overestimated myself and my strength because I'm the one that I need people to impact me so that I can go outside and impact people. I couldn't be the leader at the very beginning. But I didn't know myself. I was so ignorant to the point that when Bao came and Bao saw this already, it must say, you have to go back. And I was like, oh, I'm going to break the relationship with my mom again 3 times in a row. No doubt, I told Bao, give me 3 days. Give me 3 days. I'll resolve everything. I'll transfer my school. I'll get everything. I'll pack my car. You come back. I'll pay for a flight ticket. I'm ready to go. And even the last day when I worked, I moved over. That day when I worked, no sleep. I haven't been sleeping for more than 24 hours. I want to sleep, lack of sleep deprived, right? And then we hit on the road. And last day when I was at work, my family came to my workplace, looked for me. And I say, oh, I just moved out and so then they will not be able to find me. And later on, they found out anyway. But I cut off all the contact with my parents. And during the time, I was able to go to Texas and visit Kenny and Nene. That was the first time ever I met Kenny and Nene. And we didn't expect to be, taken care or anything. I went there. They saw how Alfie was. It was so like, you see the eye here will look literally like Panda. We've been driving for 2-3 days already, and my car broken down. We need to change the flat tire. And we just came to visit because I just need them to empower me, and then I can be able to move on. And I sit there, listen to the story and everything, right? And we're about to go out. And Kenny's like, where are you going? Like, we hit on the road again. You know what Kenny say? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Like, no, we need to go so we can get there in time. It doesn't make any difference if you drive now or compared to the morning. Same stuff. Same thing. Just stay tomorrow. You can change your tire. If you go now, who's gonna change the tire for you? And where are you gonna sleep? Take a good sleep. Rest yourself. You can go. And this is the first time ever I met Kenny. Who would take a stranger in a house without knowing so much about a person? That was Kenny and Nene. And they give me a guest room to stay, sleep peacefully, for 8 hours straight. And then next morning, and then it's like, oh, there's food here to, eat before you go, and give a bunch of excess and a bunch of water. And I feel like they saved my life, not just about physically, but my dream. They keep my dream moving on, And because of this, I think this is why I have a team in Texas. I owe Kenny and Nene so much that I have to pay back. I don't have a lot of time to really share with you the whole thing, but I came back here and I went to meeting right away and was so happy. And I went to networking too. And this is, where I have the ability. After a very long time, I have a team again, but very small, only 5 people. And then all of them, drop. And after that is this is 2018. Yeah. And this is 2019. My dad came back again, and you know what happened? Now they accepted me, right? But I had to leave my dad home for 2 months, and I went to work. And this hurt me so bad. And now they start to be so loving and caring. And I left them. You know how it feels when there's someone love you and, staying at home and taking care. My dad, he cooked the food in the morning and told me, hey, let's have breakfast before you go to work. And I have to tell my dad, maybe later that I have to go now. I'm late for work. You know, men don't cry, right? Barely. They cry, they barely cry. And I saw sorrow in my dad's eyes. Spend $2,000 for tickets and being here with the daughter, and the daughter just left you like that. And I told Dad, why are you here? If you're here, I'm gonna go to work. And they're like, no, it's okay. You go work, make money. But what's the point? I never want my dad to come back like this and I go to work. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to experience this. If you don't build this business now, if you don't take your chance, if you're not building this with the great urgency, you're gonna be like me. And then it's not enough time for you to regret. And the next thing is that I was too selfish to the point I make my downline suffer for the same life with me. I came to the San Jose to visit my team, Tram and Aaron. You know, they gave me a lot of reason for me to move on. I saw how Aaron had to sleep on the floor, no mattress, only sleeping bag, and one blanket, no heater. It was really cold. And I asked, why are you sleeping like this? I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm used to it. And when I came there, he gave me the food, right? And he didn't eat so much or anything. It's like, oh, I have the food for you. It was so good. Like, it's like a half chicken and rice, red rice. And I was like, oh, I'm full already. Let's divide and eat. And when it's like that, you know, he was so happy and he was eating it, but he just didn't. And one thing I like about this business is that even it's downline or upline, they sacrifice everything for you because they love you enough. But what have you done back to them to pay them back? And Tram made me feel so bad because just because I don't move on, that's why she doesn't move on. And that's why, you know, I go there and I barely could meet her. She had to take care of mom, had to take care of dad and everything. And I realized one thing, just because I don't move on, I couldn't help my team. And because I couldn't help my team, my business don't move forward. I don't have money. And because I don't have money, I couldn't help my parents to pay for the debt. You see, one small change is being selfish individual, young, selfish individual, costs you a lot of consequences. And because of this trip, I started to change. I make the effort to build a team. And after 6 months of putting in the effort, and then I'll be able to have a team and we go travel. This time I still remember, I talked on the phone with Misa. Oh, Misa, I want to go and build a team in Texas. And that time, Tracy, Jade, Lance, Victoria, they're not even new launch yet. And Misa was worried for me, not because she wanted to stop me, but she's like, driving, road trip, are you crazy? You know, like they're not even IBO yet, and you go. And then what are you gonna do? And we talk about, oh, we're gonna plan out Airbnb, wanna rent a car, and she's like, whatever you wanna do, you know, just don't hurt your budget. And if you do it like this, make sure that, you know, you can build a team back there, or else, you know, the effort is wasted. And because we all have the belief, us four here, we be able to make it here. And I was really scared because that time it was the COVID. I was talking to them, what if I cross the border to New Mexico and they don't let us to go through? But I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna be able to make it. And we go here, we build a team here. You know, there's a lot of things happening, but then we'll be able to have a team. And then we come back just because of one action is moving on, giving hope, believing in them, you know. And now they have the team, we have the team, and they welcome me, and, you know, they help me. And every time they just so great. They give us a great hospitality. This is the first time ever I have my real long distance team, you know, like Toronto, we already have upline built, but I was really worried when I built the long distance team, and, you know, December, and we're all strangers. But look at the gift they give me. And I don't know about this, but it must be a lot of money. And even though when my crossline to give, and look at this, we feel so warm-hearted just because we're one strangers. Because of this business, we're bonded together forever, for life. And you know, sometimes Zoom is the best way for us to really connect to each other and spending time. And if you really ask me what I've done to really make the people make me go silver, I don't know. I just be their friends. Some of you guys, I still remember this picture, man. It was Lunar New Year, and you know what we do? We'll play the 13 and we yell at each other. Like, oh, this and that, you know, we argued so bad. And I was like, oh, you know, what's that? You like hell, man, oh, stuff like that. And Lance also culture, you know, and then we play Among Us, and then after that and everything was like, okay, let's sit down, do habit. It's just like that. If you think about building team, it's something so profound. It's basically just hard connected to each other, and we're willing to have fun and then do the hard work together. And then because of that, I don't know, but I already set out a deadline for myself. By this year, I have to become a platinum so that I can go back to my hometown. I can make my parents proud. And the first level of making my parents proud, the first milestone is that I have to go to Kalahari. I talk to Phil, and Phil say, you have to go so that you can make the decision. And after that, you know, this is Ali Banquet in Texas in May. I don't know what got into me, and I was talking to Mahat, and I kept talking to Mahat about being Q12 and this and that. And for some reason, something that has a pull in me, my mouth accidentally slid out the words without knowing. I told Mahat, I will go to Kalahari to see you there, Mahat. And it was May. And the team was not solidified 7,500 silver or whatever. And I spoke it in front of my team. And one thing I really want to tell you is, please be brave enough to speak your goal. Speak with the deadline, speak with the date, with the time, with the month and everything. Maybe you're going to miss it. You miss the deadline, but you don't miss the goal. Okay, I've been speaking Q12 2022. I might not be able to get Q12 2022, but at least I'll get platinum shift 2022 done. And that's a done deal. I will go 2022 platinum with Eagle shift structure. And that's for sure. I'm speaking in front of you guys, and I'm sure, I'm determined I'm going to make it done. Okay. And that's something that you have to be able to do, is that have that guts to speak in front of people, get yourself in trouble. I still remember what Mahat told me. I couldn't upload the video. It's really sad, but Mahat told me, Lily, you're in trouble now. You're in trouble. You're hung by your tongue. Now you cannot hide anymore. We all know your goal. And I'm so happy because every time my upline see me, they check for my progress and see if there's anything that can help me with it. And during the time that we built the team, this is where the Monday fight the silver ship for me. It's really crazy. I never really expect anything like this. I told them, okay, let's not maybe fight for it, because I don't want you guys to get hurt in budget. And they're so crazy. Just because I was submitted to Bao's platinum ship, I was submitted to Misa Q12 ship, you know, and it's really truly a law of reaping and sowing. Because I submitted to my upline's gold, I unified my team. I was a unifier. And here it is, all my downline. They carry, you know, I didn't know. I was somewhere with Ngọc and Sophia went out, you know, to eat only. And we talked about something. And they do behind my back. And how crazy it was. I really want to give this pin to my team. Tracy, Victoria, Jade, Kan, Gemini, Aaron, everyone. If I don't mention your name, it's not that I don't appreciate you, but you guys make the silver ship happen. And I'm here to give you the credit that you can be able to do it. Hi, Vincent and everyone. I'm so proud of you, you know, for one stepping out of it. And I appreciate you loving me so much that you do this for me. But I promise you, after you do this for me, you bring me to Kalahari, the next year I have the responsibility to bring you to Kalahari with me, because I want to spread the vision. You deserve it. They go and they sit down, and I don't know how things could happen. You know, look at this number. It's so crazy. Like, I talked to Misa on the 14th. It was only 4,500, and every day we're talking about it. One thing, if you really want to keep your goal happening, you have to communicate with your coach daily. I talk to Misa every day about my goal, you know, and because I was talking like that, it happened within only 1 week. The 4,500 moved to 7,500 within 7 days. And it's not that I just sit there and enjoyed it. Okay, I saw them work so hard. You can ask Ann and Aaron, or Celine, right? I went out and do networking and do retailing. So then I myself deserve this team because they're so amazing. They cannot have a terrible coach or terrible upline if they work so hard for me and I don't even work so hard for myself. And then magical happened because we believed in it so much as a whole team. Unity, teamwork, power submission, power spoken word, everything happened. And they shipped me to Kalahari. So I can be around among the leaders, going and learning from them and being around Ali. And I spoke my goal in front of Ali too. So many of you, don't be hesitant. I was fighting on the spot. So many first timer, they went home. I was really proud of myself for chasing until the end. I was on my heels for 3 days straight. And my leg literally want to fall off. But I saw Tan was walking around with Sophia with Ali, and I just tagged along. And I went to see Ali, and it's so nice to be in the small inner circle that there are only 5 people. And we talked about so many things. And I spoke to Ali, and my goals is I have to make Ali remember me as a brand new platinum next year and as an ego structure. And I actually got a chance to speak with Ali, and Ali spoke with me that I have to become EPR in the next 2 years, and I cannot let this time wasted because my mentor already spoke to me. I saw my rich dad on stage, and he spoke to me. I cannot let this go. Never again. And I promised him 5 people going with me. And this is something, it's really small. But back then, I saw my upline sharing about personal advisor and everything. And this morning, when I opened it up, for some reason, I saw this and I feel so great. Oh man, like now you have your own financial, like new sales advisor and everything. It feels so great. And now I can pass more information back to my team. And that's my responsibility. I want to share with you this, not because I want to show off, but I want to tell you is that I promise to be the anchor between you and Amway and between you and Brick Worldwide. I want to be that gate, and I also want to be an anchor for each and everyone here. Just so you know, right? My story has a lot to tell. It's 6 years. It'll be not fair if I share it in 40 minutes or an hour. I know I've been taking a lot of time, but I just want to tell you one thing. If I could do it, seriously, you could do exactly the same thing as I do too. If you're willing to go through what I go through, you're willing to believe in yourself, and you believe in the coaching and mentorship, and you're willing to put in the hard work, and you'll be able to do it. I have belief and faith in you, and thank you for listening. And back to amazing host, Jay.